When the whole world lives in fear, love as the act of the courageous look around. This morning's headlines: war, crisis, artificial intelligence out of control. Humanity can send rockets to Mars, yet cannot send one honest message of love. Osho once said, "We have learned how to conquer the world, but not how to master our own hearts." The modern world does not die from hunger, it dies from fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being hurt, and strangely, fear of love itself. The more technology we create, the more anxious we become. AI grows smarter, yet our hearts grow duller. We try to control everything: time, money, emotion, and in doing so we lose the ability to simply live. We wear polished clothes, but inside fear still trembles. We talk about freedom, yet live as prisoners of the mind. Osho said, "Fear never disappears by avoidance, it disappears when you walk through it." Every action in life arises from one of two doors: fear or love. When you act from fear, you shrink and defend. When you act from love, you open and trust. And only in openness can life flow through you. Today's world chooses fear. Nations build walls, corporations build algorithms, individuals build masks. But you cannot love while wearing armor. Love means daring to be naked, to be vulnerable, to let someone truly see you. The fearful say, "I want safety." The loving say, "I want life." Look at any modern city, towers of glass reflecting the sky. And yet, behind those walls, souls drift in quiet isolation. People send thousands of messages each day, but almost never listen deeply. We say, "I'm fine," with a smiley icon, forgetting that the heart does not speak emoji. Osho said, "The more you protect yourself from pain, the farther you move from love." So if you want to love, let that glass wall crack a little. A single crack is enough for the light to enter. Human beings have turned love into a transaction. We love with conditions: if you do this, if you stay that. But real love has no if. It is not a contract, it is a journey of trust. When you love, you step into the unknown, and that's what makes it sacred. People say, love is blind. No. Love is so awake that it sees every risk and still chooses to open. All global crises, wars, pollution, AI, politics, are not technological problems. They are problems of the heart. Intelligence without love becomes a weapon. Freedom without love becomes chaos. Religion without love becomes a cage. If love is present, everything heals itself. If love is absent, everything decays from within. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving through fear anyway. Osho said, "The fearful seek shelter, the courageous walk into the storm." Love, even while the world is chaotic. Trust, even after betrayal. Open, even when it hurts. Because each time you open, the world opens with you. And when you love, you are not just saving a relationship, you are saving humanity inside yourself. Now, close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. Feel the fear inside your chest. Don't run from it. Just watch it as you would watch a drifting cloud. Soon you will see, behind that cloud of fear, love has been waiting. Not far away, not in someone else, but right here in this breath. Love is not the medicine for fear. Love is what remains when fear no longer needs to exist. Osho. Ego in the glass wall of modern humanity. Love is the death of the eye. Everywhere today you see towers of glass, shiny, reflective, perfect, and cold. Modern humans are the same. They carry invisible walls, the walls of ego. We reflect the world, but we don't touch it. We know too much, but we barely live. Osho said, "The ego is the wall between you and love is the hammer that breaks the wall." Every eye is born out of fear, fear of being hurt, forgotten, or unseen. So we create an image of ourselves. On social media, we choose angles, words, filters, and then we start believing the photo more than the trembling soul behind it. Osho said, "When you believe you are the image, you have lost your soul." Today, everyone is a brand, a profile, an account, but behind it all lies a quiet emptiness no one dares to face. We want to be loved, but only show our edited version. And when someone falls for that version, we feel lonelier, because deep down, we know they don't love us, they love the mask. Ego not only separates people, it divides all of humanity. Politics, religion, race, nations, all are collective egos. One person's I becomes a nation's we, and war begins. Osho said, "The world is not divided by borders but by egos." We take pride in nationality and ideology, forgetting that consciousness has no passport. The more you cling to identity, the further you drift from essence. Love cannot exist between two egos. It only happens between two free souls. Osho said, "When two people truly love, they do not face each other. They look together in the same direction." But in our age, love has turned into negotiation. Who texts first? Who needs the other more? Who stays silent longer wins. We no longer love to understand, we love to validate. And that's how love dies, because ego cannot breathe in the air of surrender. True love is dissolving, not merging. When you dissolve into another, both disappear, and only presence remains. Imagine standing before a mirror you've looked into all your life until you forget which face is real. Love is the moment you break the mirror. You'll see blood, you'll see tears, and then you'll see light. That's why Osho said, "Love is the most beautiful death, the death of the ego, so the soul can be reborn." You cannot be safe and love at the same time. Safety belongs to the ego, love belongs to freedom. The world doesn't need more religions or ideologies. It needs people who can disappear. Disappearing doesn't mean losing, it means returning to the whole. When you are no longer I, you become everything. You don't just love someone, you become love itself. Start small. Listen without judging. Give without expecting. Be silent without fearing to be forgotten. Then the glass wall fades, and the world reflects through you, like sunlight through a clear drop of water. Osho said, "When you disappear, love begins to exist." Love doesn't come from effort, but from the collapse of the ego. Love like the wind, touch, move, and pass, leaving fragrance, not possession. The world will not change through knowledge, but through hearts brave enough to be real. Love is not a contract. Courage is the art of letting go. The world today signs too many contracts, business contracts, data agreements, legal deals, and then we started signing contracts in love. I'll love you if you never change. I'll stay if you promise to stay mine. Love turned into paperwork and the heart into a courtroom. But Osho said, love is not an agreement between two people. Love is a breeze of freedom. It exists only when no one tries to hold it. The tragedy of humanity is this. We don't love to give, we love to control. Everything today is measured, from daily steps to dopamine levels. So we measure love too. Who texted first, who cared more, who invested more. Love becomes a spreadsheet of emotions, with columns of profit and loss. We love for safety, not for life. Osho said, when you love for safety, you don't love the person, you love your fear of losing them. Control belongs to the ego. Love belongs to the soul's dance. You cannot love someone for a reason. If there's a reason, it's no longer love, it's calculation. Real love is like breathing. It has no purpose. It simply is. Osho said, love is not an act. It is a state of being. A true lover doesn't say, I love you because you're beautiful. They say, I love you, and because I love you, you become beautiful. Love is not a reward, it is awareness. People fear freedom more than slavery, because freedom demands responsibility. No one left to blame, nowhere left to hide. And love is absolute freedom. When you truly love, you don't possess, you don't bind, you let the other be, and in doing so, you dissolve. But most people don't want that. They want someone to belong to them. And the moment they say belong, love dies. Osho said love knows no boundaries. The moment you draw a line, you build a prison. The wind never asks the tree, may I pass through? It simply comes, touches, and leaves fragrance behind. Love is the same. When you love someone, don't think about results. Don't ask, will they love me back? Love because that is your nature. The one who knows love doesn't need another to be happy. They are happy, and therefore they love. Love is not an exchange, it is a radiance. just as the sun shines not for gratitude but because shining is what it was born to do. True love promises nothing. It doesn't need forever. Because if you live fully now, forever is already here. Love as if it's the first time and as if it might be the last. Don't play the manager of emotions. Be the one who trembles with life. Love doesn't need to be managed, only lived. Someone once asked Osho, "How do I keep the one I love?" Osho smiled and said, "By not trying to keep them. Because only when you let go, true love is born." Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means trusting that if it's meant for you, it will return by itself. Courage is not holding on. The flame of dissolution, kendam la dam tan bating you. We are taught to be strong, stable, unshaken, but in holding ourselves together, we forget how to melt. Osho said, "Love is fire. If you fear being burned, you will never know the light." The modern world glorifies hardness, be tough to win, be cold to survive, and so the heart turns to stone. But no one can love made of stone. Love exists only when you dare to melt. Look around. In every city, millions walk like machines. Each wears a mask, calm, logical, professional, perfect. No one dares to show emotion. No one cries in public. No one trembles when in love. The world mistakes numbness for wisdom, but that is the wisdom of death. Osho said, "You are alive only when you dare to dissolve." To dissolve is not weakness. It is the courage to lose control. Courage is not climbing mountains or winning wars. True courage is letting the ego die in love. People think melting means losing, but in melting the soul is reborn. Just as iron melts in fire to become gold, you must melt in love to become yourself. Osho said, "When the ego dies, God begins to live through you." Love is not emotion, it is the fire of transformation. You cannot understand it by watching, you must enter, burn, dissolve. Love burns away everything you are not, fear, ego, memory, ambition. And when all is gone, what remains is not ash, but light. Osho said, "Only in fire is gold purified." Love is that fire. It hurts, but in the hurt, you are healed. The world says, "Don't be too soft," but Osho says, "Only the soft survive." Water flows through rock because it doesn't resist. Flowers bloom among stones because they're unafraid of fragility. Love doesn't need power, it needs openness. The more you protect yourself from pain, the more you block love's flow. And when love is blocked, everything dies. Joy, creativity, even your soul. Melting doesn't only happen in romance, it happens in meditation. When you sit silently and no one remains to observe, you are melting into existence itself. There is no I meditating, there is only meditation happening. This is the purest form of love, where there's no lover, no beloved, only the energy of oneness. The fire is not your enemy. It only burns what is false so that the true may be born. Let love burn you. Let the tears fall. Let the ego dissolve. Because only when you dare to melt, you discover freedom. Osho said, "Those who fear melting live as ice. Those who burn become light." Love is the breath of life. Ask anyone, "Do you love?" They will say, "Yes, I love someone." But Osho said, if your love needs a someone, it is not yet love. The world has turned love into a conditional act. We love because someone makes us happy, because they are beautiful, because they fill the emptiness inside. But true love doesn't arise from lack, it arises from wholeness. Not from need, but from overflow. People today love out of fear of loneliness. Love becomes a painkiller, taken to numb the inner emptiness. So when the person leaves, we don't just lose them, we lose the medicine. Osho said, "Your love doesn't heal loneliness, it only helps you forget it for a while." That's why so many relationships feel exhausting. Two souls clinging to each other, not to grow, but to avoid falling apart. That is not love. That is fear disguised as affection. Osho said, "Love is not a relationship, it is a state of being." What does that mean? It means that when you are truly awake, you don't love someone, you are love. You look at a flower and your heart blooms with it. You hear the wind and feel yourself breathing with the sky. Love then is no longer between two people. It becomes the shared breath of existence. The unawakened confuse love with possession. They say, "I love you," but they mean, "I want you to be mine." True love knows nothing of ownership. It is freedom walking beside freedom, like two stars shining on the same sky yet never colliding. Osho said, "If your love takes away someone's freedom, it isn't love, it's ego demanding ownership." When you love without possessing, you not only free the other, you free yourself. Real love has no beginning and no end. It is like breath, constant, silent, alive. You don't do breathing, it simply happens. In the same way, when you are fully present, love flows through you effortlessly. Osho said, "The one who knows love needs no object to love. His very existence is love." Sit quietly, breathe in, breathe out, feel your heartbeat. Think of no one, desire nothing. If peace arises in that moment, that peace is love itself. Osho said, "I do not teach religion, I teach love. Because when you know love, you cannot harm, you cannot wage war, you cannot hate. A person full of love needs no commandments, for love itself is the highest morality. The world could survive without gods, but not without love." Now close your eyes, breathe in deeply, exhale slowly. Don't try to love someone, just feel the breath, in, out, silent, alive, and you will see love was never out there. It was here, in every heartbeat, in every breath. Osho said, "When love has no object, it becomes existence itself." Then you are no longer a seeker of love, you are love.